We are the one, the light in the dark. One heart, one world, one spark. We are the one, together we rise. One dream, one voice, one sky.
Welcome, absolutely welcome to Women Empowered Across the World. I'm Jackie Zaccoli, and we're here to guide you through the life in some way or other from a woman that is going to be able to share all kinds of beautiful travels and things that we can learn about from her to be able to enhance our own lives. And we are here on YouTube. So glad you've joined us. And we have as our hostesses today, we have Alina Pelka, who is the Yorgis group from Poland. And we have Pat Tracy, who is from Texas, and her heart's pretty much all over the globe as well. And myself, Jackie Zaccoli, who, though I'm located physically in Arizona, my whole world is built around mostly Africa and bringing resources to the underserved populations, starting in Africa. So we have as our guest today Vestna Matic. And Vesna, I love the whole concept of soul alchemist. Let that reside in your brain. Soul alchemist. So beautiful. So she is going to enlighten us and show us through her past, present, and future exactly what it is that she is going to be able to share with the rest of the world. So go ahead, if you would, please.
First and foremost, Jackie, yeah, it was such a thrill meeting you at the summit and you inviting me here today. Thank you so much. Yeah, where to start? Um, I um, started, I guess, my work is I am a what is called a licensed master's level psychologist. Received my license in Kansas. I have been doing this work for over 30 years, and it's still, when I hear that, doing it for so long, I am very passionate about what I do. I think it all started with my parents. Both my parents came from what I still call Yugoslavia, even though it broke up, many, many years ago. Uh, my mother came from a very small village in Slovenia. When she was about 8 years old, the German soldiers came down and they evacuated the whole village, put them on a train up to Germany, and she was in a concentration camp for 4 years, nearly lost her eyesight. Food was practically non-existent, and then the American soldiers came and set everyone free, so they went back home to Slovenia. My father, 10-year difference between my parents. My father was drafted into the army. And with my father, someone had the exact same name as my father. My father was mistaken for this other person. So my father was going to be put to death. He was imprisoned and barely survived with his life. He had a file and filed down the bars and escaped. And then both my parents came to the US in the late 50s. And I have an older brother, 2 years older. And they came to Cleveland, Ohio. So for myself growing up, the first two languages I learned were Slovenian and Serbian. I learned English before I started elementary school. So customs, language, culture, everything was so important. On my mother's side, my grandparents were still alive. On my father's side, they passed way before I was born. So consequently, my brother, my mother, and I would go to Yugoslavia every so many years in order to visit grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins. So I say that travel was really ingrained in me, love to travel. Um, both my parents, PTSD in their own right. So
Yes. So my
for
God.
me, I consider myself very fortunate because I already knew in high school I wanted to major in psychology. So as soon as I graduated high school, went directly to the university, received my bachelor's degree in psychology, and then moved to Yugoslavia. I went to the University of Ljubljana while I lived in Slovenia. Also, during the summers, I worked as a tour guide. So I would have a busload of people, yes, United States, um, Israeli Jews, and also from the UK. And I would take them all around Yugoslavia, every now and then into Italy. And then I was accepted into a master's program at Cleveland State University. So I did move back to the US and back in 1985 and received my master's degree in clinical psychology. And so I have worked, in the field ever since then. For me, I always, I guess, go against the grain, so to speak. I incorporated things like meditation in my counseling sessions. Spirituality for me is very important. I mean, I believe that we are spiritual beings in a human body, so spirituality is always included in my work. And I since I do love to travel, I believe that it's very important for people to get out of their comfort zone and just not live in one area, where they were born. I feel that people do need to travel, see the world, um, so that it just kind of brings us together. I have one saying, which is, we only have one home, which is Mother Earth. And for that reason, it is imperative that we all work together. So that is one of the reasons why I do love taking people on these spiritual journeys. On these spiritual journeys, because we kind of get stuck. When we live in a certain place, of course, we have our family, but then we have our friends, the places where we work. And sometimes it can be really difficult to try something new, to kind of get out of our old mindset, because we're kind of trapped into that life that we have. So that when we change our environment and go to a different place, it frees us in so many ways. And that's where a lot of the other healing happens. And so that is another reason why I love taking people on these trips. I have been to Peru many a time, and as a matter of fact, was there in May. And I, whenever possible, love working with the local healers. So was in the Amazon rainforest and worked with a healer there, and he was phenomenal. I've worked with several different healers. For me, I'll say he was the best, really was. And I want to educate people about the plant medicine. I know it's the craze right now, but it is important how someone approaches the plant medicine. So I had the honor and the privilege to do a 20-minute interview with this healer, and he really did a deep dive about the plant medicine. And I want to share that with other people so that they are prepared and just aren't led astray, so to speak. Um, so yeah, I intend on taking another group next year to the Amazon rainforest. Um, I have a trip to Nepal to meditate with the Buddhist monks and nuns, which here again, that's very dear to my heart. And I've been to, Nepal, Tibet, all of these places, and want people to here again experience that, to hear the monks singing in the monasteries, the reverberation, the energy. Even though sometimes you can sit down and watch a movie or read a book, those are all fantastic. Nothing beats being there physically, and just feeling the energy. Takes you to a whole different place.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and in Morocco, been there, of course, and riding camels in the desert. Such an experience. Camels really are great. Yeah, and um, uh, there again in Morocco, the intention is to have some private ceremonies with the locals. And so yeah, that's just, I guess, kind of what I do.
Beautiful. So beautiful. Oh
Thank
my
you.
gosh. Can you even imagine, you guys? I usually say in these, Kleenex optional because I can't fathom all. I mean, I was going to say you're a B movie. Let's face it, you're a documentary is what you, if we could actually put that together. I mean, just fascinating what you have absorbed um, through your past and brought that forward to such a positive impact. And I totally agree with you. Once you get out of your lifestyle space, you really see the world in a different way. So I think, uh, yeah, it just amazes me. Um, how how do you reach your target audience? Talk to me a little bit about your target audience, about the people that you're trying or working with to get to those spaces. Talk to me about them.
Well, um, so yes, I love what I do. And for me, I guess I do best in really talking with people and kind of the one-on-one connection. Social media, technology, kind of not my forte. So um, it's, I guess, one of the things I am continuing to learn is to actually use those platforms in order to really get the message out to people. Now, um, so being on these podcasts for me is such a thrill, because here, we are talking, and then other people being able to tune in. So it's the podcasts. It's whenever there is an event, that's I also live here in Arizona, so going to these live events so that I can go meet people, answer questions, talk. I do have, of course, a website, so I put together a what I call a 7-day mental health awareness intentional, because mental health, even though people are recognizing the importance of it, um, a lot of times people still embarrassed to talk about what is happening with them, whatever, life situation is going on. Um, and I always say that if our mental health, our mental well-being is not, if we don't feel comfortable with where we're at, I don't care how much money you have or possessions or whatever, nothing else matters. So being able to do these programs, I have a 3-month program I'm working on right now, which is an extension of the 7-day program. And then I'm also working on a 6-month, which is focused on burnout, since so many people, not only in the mental health field, but just overall, are just so burned out.
Mm-hmm.
And so using that as a way to also reach more people.
Okay. The people that are going to be listening to you today, as we're recording this, what if in the categories of the burnout, obviously, and maybe their embarrassment about how they're feeling with their mindset, which is the key to the whole thing. Can you give any kind of tips or thoughts about what might be able to either help them to recognize where they are or to be able to do the first step after the recognition that would be able to get them on the path other than coming to you?
Yeah, great question. Um, in today's society, I think, unlike any other period of time, there really is so much stress, so much anxiety that's happening, and both are things that we all experience. Stress. We have a meeting, we have something going on, and we're kind of stressed out about it, anxious. Yes, it happens. It's when it becomes a daily thing where someone is always really worried about something, anxious about something. It could uh, lead into, for example, an anxiety attack, a panic attack. Okay. So listening to our bodies is very important. Not being able to sleep at night, okay, and due to this constant thinking all the time. Listening to other people, when the people that are close to us, if somebody makes a comment like, what's going on with you? Okay, instead of just brushing it off, paying attention to that. Okay, so feedback from others is also very important. If finding out that, hey, you're getting sick more often, okay, that means that the body's resistance is down. Okay, so here again, paying attention to that. So things that we can do are realizing we are only human, and we need to take time for ourselves. As a matter of fact, I was listening to someone talk the other day, and she was saying that her boss had like 5,000 hours of vacation time. Kept working, and it's like, oh my God, you know, taking a mental health day, taking a day off when you feel good. Okay, not waiting until you get sick. Of course, taking time off when you are sick is important, but taking time off when you feel good and just doing something you have been putting on the back burner for a while. If it means just staying at home and getting that rest, yes, all of those things are so important. Also, not being afraid to reach out to a professional. Okay. Like I said, I think things are getting a little bit better, and people don't feel that stigma. But yes, reach out to someone, and you know, sitting down and talking to someone. Uh, God, it just does so many things. Even if there is no direct answer that they give, just being able to get it off your chest.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. Yeah, or journaling. Journaling's
Yes.
really good for that. I find that good. I just think, well, let me just put down what's happening. And then when I start to put down what's happening, it's oh, that's what's happening. Oh. Then I'll come back and read it and I'll go, oh, well, that was astute. Never thought of that part. And it just recycles and gives a different perspective. And I'm sure you'll say, you are the composite of the 5 people that you are closest to. So, who do
Yeah.
you have that you're closest to? Are they empowering or are they minimizing who you are, limiting who you are, those types of things as well. So you actually coach one-on-one, 1-to-1 on, not one-on-one, that's basketball, 1-to-1 with people to be able to get them to get out of their traffic
Yeah.
and into their real self. Is that true, or is that what I'm
Oh
hearing?
yes, yes, yes. I love working, one on one with people. Uh, I do work a lot with all forms of trauma, physical,
Mm,
sexual abuse, you know, domestic violence, you name it. I've worked with Vietnam veterans, the whole gamut, and
mm,
um, so one on one, yes, I love that. But I also love working, in groups with groups of people. Nowadays, of course, I get it. Traveling is not always a possibility. I live in Phoenix, so I do sessions also over Zoom, over the internet.
mm, mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
that's another way. Yeah.
Yeah, so you would be looking for speaking engagements to be able to, and the best would be probably to talk to groups of a specific focus would be great, maybe like veterans or maybe,
Mhm.
certain niche to be able to assist in them to become more aware through what you are doing. And of course, the ultimate would be to travel, to get out of their hole, um,
Yes.
to literally get to another space. I've always thought, if you could only get kids to travel at an early age and begin to humbly respect another culture, which is the biggest part of that. I'm sure you see that, Alina, all the time. It's humbly, you don't have a choice. You're in a new place and you are the minority. You have to humbly accept it or you'll be kicked out. So that humility, I think,
Yeah.
gets you out of your space. And I love the quote somebody said this last week. It's so this whatever was happening rearranges my cultural furniture.
Mm, nice.
It
Nice.
rearranges my cultural furniture. And I thought,
Yeah.
that's it. That's a lot. That's what it does, is it arranges what you think, the belief system of what you've been raised with. And you're the psychologist, you know this really well. It's what is into our brains as we grow up. And I can only fathom what you were raised with such a diverse and painful background, how they totally recompensated for that. Can you elaborate just a little bit with that?
Sure. Sure. Yeah, definitely. Um, so I'll kind of respond. With all the travels that I've done, you see that we are all alike. I don't care where you go, people want the same thing. They want a roof over their head, food on the table. They want to feel safe. They want to feel free. That's everywhere we go. It's the little nuances, the language, the food, that make it so interesting. And that's one of the main reasons I love to travel. Give me all of that. Um, so yeah, going back to my parents, my father was one who did not really talk much about
Yeah.
kind of growing up.
Yeah.
Um, and he was one who never wanted to pick up a rifle and go to war, kill someone. So, um, yeah, that was horrific for him, you know. For my mom, and it wasn't until several years ago um, that my mom was telling me. So she had, different jobs here, in the U.S., but she worked with this one family for like 20 years. Um, this couple, they were both doctors. They had a baby. The baby was only a couple of weeks old, and they were looking for kind of a nanny. Okay. And my mother, somebody ended up telling my mother about it. So she went there and spoke to the woman, and she hired my mom on the spot. She was with the family when the kids were, the two girls completely grown in their 20s. They call my mother grandma. Okay. So both of them, again, doctors. So they're working all day, and she took care of everything. She took care of the girls. She cleaned the house. She did everything, and they trusted her with everything. But a few years ago, my mother told me, she said, I know they trust me. I know they love me. But when I was working, sometimes I just had a feeling as if though maybe there was a camera somewhere and they were watching me. PTSD. In Germany, in the camp, concentration camp, you had German soldiers constantly watching you. So even though she knew that didn't happen there, it was still something that followed her. So just an example of how sometimes we may not know what a person is really dealing with, and so going back to also the Vietnam veterans, men who had been back home for 30 years and were still having flashbacks. Okay. And yes, that is so I do so many things. I do EMDR, I use ceremony, just because every person is different, so what works for one person may not work for another one. So therefore, um whatever helps, whatever works. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And I'm certain, not certain, but I would imagine that your parents, with the resilience that they had to get through what they had, I can understand your father trying to not go there.
Yeah.
And your mother probably imparting what she can to you of what happened, brought you to understand and to go where you are, or the education that you had to bring that forward. So they were kind of the seed, I would think,
Yeah.
for you to be able to bring that forward and to be able to use various techniques to assist in eradicating whatever you can of the past that is in error or is not desired for the present or the future.
And I also have a lot of respect. I mean, I moved to Arizona back in 2008,
Mm,
and my husband, who uh, it's been 20 years since he died, but
mm.
my husband was also part Native American.
Oh, was he?
And so I have worked with natives before, but especially
Mm-hmm.
when I moved to Arizona in 2008, I've worked with so many different indigenous tribes, the Hopi, the Navajo, the Apache, um, the smaller tribes, and I I really love their
Yeah.
teachings.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
majority. Each tribe is different. However, the old saying about thinking 7 generations ahead, and Mother Earth. We got to take care of her.
Yeah. Yeah.
She takes care of us. All of those things just powerful,
Yeah,
powerful.
very powerful. And you're going to find that in a lot of cultures. I mean, every culture has their own their own way of managing, of assessing, of being able to assist in the growth. And I'm sure that you see that all over the world. Each one has their different way of doing things. So again, being out of your sandbox and someone else's helps you to kind of see, well, that's a different perspective. I wonder if I should adapt that one. So any questions from the rest of them? I'm kind of taking over because I'm just fascinated with all the stuff that she's doing. Alina, you have it. Go ahead, Alina.
Thank you. And thanks very much, Vesna, for sharing your journey and your story. Very interesting and inspiring. I would like to ask if you can tell, just like us and our audience, one thing that people can learn during your healing journeys in
Nice.
the Amazon rainforest, in Nepal, and one thing in Morocco.
Ooh, ooh,
You
beautiful.
mean in each place
Yes,
individually?
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, you're great. You're great. That's beautiful. I love it.
Gosh, the Amazon rainforest.
Mm.
God, the energy there
Yeah.
is
Oh,
beyond words. Um, just being able to walk through the rainforest and
mhm.
see everything. That's number one. Number two, though, ayahuasca. And people are very familiar now. You hear about it all the time. Comes from the Amazon. It has been used there for centuries, and um, I always say everything has a spirit. And when I hear someone saying that they um, had a bad experience, I say it depends on how you approach the plant medicine. Okay, so very important. So I think that's one thing to learn um, from there. Nepal. Uh, wow. Nepal, Kathmandu is such a busy city. I mean, hustle bustle there. You see, and the whole time I was there, never saw one accident. Yet you have people in cars, the
Yeah,
motorcycles,
yeah,
the
yeah,
bicycles. You see the cows all around.
yeah, yeah,
No accidents.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
here you are in Arizona, and oh my God, anyway. Um, but as I said, sitting there and meditating with the monks,
Mm,
um, I think it always just stays with you. Okay. So even though someone not uh, familiar with Buddhism meditation still take something away from that.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And perhaps incorporate that into their practice, whatever it is. Morocco, the desert. Even though here in Arizona we have the desert, but in Morocco the desert's so different. The vastness, the expansion of this open space, and riding the camel in the desert. I could just picture myself in way back in history, when they were doing the spice route, and going through passing through the country. Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
And
Oh, you're
that's
thank
welcome.
beautiful.
you so much, by the way, for sharing your thoughts about the importance of traveling and the sense of traveling, because I am a traveler too. And and I always, as a child, I always dreamed about traveling to foreign countries all around the world. And that time it sounded so impossible, but here I am traveling to
Yeah.
different
You,
continents and countries. So this is exactly what I also think about this,
yeah,
the
yeah,
importance of traveling, and I think out of our comfort zone.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you
Beautiful,
so much.
Yeah, thank you.
beautiful.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You've Vesna, you've added such a wonderful spice to what we're doing here. And speaking engagements would be something that you would like to have, and anyone that would like to really dig deep into their spirituality and to find out who they really are, and possibly through the vehicle of travel. I thank you so much for being here. And I thank those that are listening to be able to glean what you can from this. And you will be able to find all of us on LinkedIn. And please subscribe to this station on YouTube, and realize that the whole point of this is that we are here together to thrive and to collaborate at a level that we will increase love, prosperity, and peace on this planet. So thank you so much for being here.
There's no divide, peace and love.